We talked to Coach Fedor yesterday about Cam being limited Saturday. How limited was he, and in your estimation, how did he play?
He played average. I mean, he wasn't the Cam that we had before. I think I counted him on the ground about 8 times, which was unusual. Just, he just had no strength in that ankle. And Spain was probably 70%. One hand, it was great to have those guys out there, but watching the film, they weren't the guys that, they have been. But it's just, they're going to have to play back into it, deal with the pain. And I think every rep, like last week, Cam, he didn't really get full speed reps until Thursday. And at that point, we're not really going full speed. And Spain was just slowly being integrated back in. So I'm hoping we get a good week of practice with them this week, and they'll be that much better Saturday.
Larry also mentioned that you guys you're at the point where you're giving consideration to maybe some red shirts coming off out of necessity. Anybody in your group might be considered?
I would keep 2 freshmen up with me every practice, and 2 of them travel, and so they're getting closer. It's you don't want to do it for a couple of reasons, where I don't think they're ready yet, and you also don't want to burn a shirt if we think we're going to get some guys back and they're not going to play anymore. Now you think you're going to lose some guys for the year, that'll change things. So we're kind of in that mode right now where some guys are starting to come back, and you're trying to hang on and keep those guys in the shirts.
The 2 that travel, Marcus McKeithen, and he's one.
Marcus McKeithen and Brian Anderson have been traveling. Jordan Tucker's also was up there, then he got hurt, and so he's starting to get better. So those are the 3 guys that have been getting some consideration.
Why go with Cam if RJ is healthy? Just wondering. Cam Dillard.
Cam's a center.
Sorry, not RJ. JJ.
Part of it was Cam looked good, as far as what he was doing in practice, and in pregame he looked good, but he still wasn't, he wasn't the Cam that we had seen the first couple weeks. And just with his experience, size, a lot of different things, I felt comfortable going with him. And afterthought, you're like, okay, with JJ giving us a little more? I don't know. I just felt like I felt comfortable with playing Cam there, just with his experience and what he brought to the offense.
Another thing that we talked to Coach Fedor about yesterday was JJ's ability to maybe play some other positions, and the fact that he did well when he had his opportunity, and you guys are so thin. Have you guys worked with him anywhere other than center in the last couple of weeks, just in case?
Well, he was working some at guard all summer and part of camp, but then we got into a situation where we didn't have enough center, so he had to stay at center. And one thing with those young guys, which he is, it's very hard for them to get good at one if they're playing both. A veteran guy is more capable of that. But some of our younger guys that take some time to get the game plan down, that's not conducive for them to be successful or us.
So for the need for him to be ready next year, it's probably in the best interest to keep him there now.
Well, it's again, you start getting Cam back, and then maybe you can move him around a little bit. But before that, there was a point where you couldn't do that with him. So, it's a mix of youth and injuries where, older guys can bounce around to other spots, and that's why you cross-train them year-round. But those young guys just started doing it, first time they're playing. Some of them aren't ready to learn 2 spots and to be able to do it properly.
What do you see out of Georgia Tech on defense?
Aggressive. Their linebackers fly around, play downhill. It seems like we've been seeing some of those kids forever. Number 20 out there, he plays kind of their nickel, sandback, or whatever you want to say. And, every time you watch him, you just see that kid fly around and make plays and plays incredibly hard. I think that they've got a couple guys up front that give them some pass rush ability, that they do a nice job. And they're all veterans in the back end. So they're not making mistakes. They're doing a good job being sound in their scheme, and they're playing aggressive. And so, therefore they're having a lot of success.